सो मैं बेनती हुण करूँगा मेरे मानयोग वीर गुरिंदर सिंह मान, ये इंग्लैंड तो आए ने, शायद इन्हां दा स्वरूप एक सिख वाला नहीं, पर मैं तुहानूं ये दसना चाहुंदा कि इन्हां दे मन दे विच सतगुरां प्रति जो भावना है ना, ये वो भावना ही सी जिस दे तहत इन्हां ने सन 2001 दे विच पश्चिम दे विच पहला जो रिसर्च थीसिस जो छपिया, जो इन्हां ने MA की पढ़ाई दे विच जो टॉपिक चुनिया, वो दसम की बाणी ते सी। ये साडे वड्डे भाग ने कि इन्हां दे मन दे विच सतगुरां दी इस बाणी प्रति इतनी श्रद्धा है। ये साडी अरदास है सतगुरां दे चरनां दे विच कि जो ये भावना इन्हां दे मन विच है, ये एक दिन इन्हां दे स्वरूप उत्ते भी रंग लियाएगी। सतगुरु साहिब जी समूह खालसा संगत ये अरदास करे कि साडे मानयोग वीर गुरिंदर सिंह मान, मैं उन्होंने बेनती करदा हाँ कि वो प्लीज़ स्टेज ते आउण। जो इन्हां दा विशा है दसवें पातशाह का ग्रंथ, हिस्टोरिकल जर्नी थ्रू आर्टिफैक्ट्स ऑफ द खालसा। इन्हां ने रिसर्च की है, इन्हां ने बोलना अंग्रेजी विच है, मैं तुहानूं सारांश दे दियां। इन्हां ने जो रिसर्च की है ना, इस रिसर्च दे विच इन्हां ने 18वीं सदी के आरंभ विच श्री बचित्र नाटक के अंग्रेजी अनुवाद नूं संसार विच लियाउण वाले जो अंग्रेज स्कॉलर होए ने, उन्हां दीयां लिखतां नूं सामने लिआंदा है। सो होर भी इन्हां दे पास बहुत खजाना है, तस्वीरां ने। सो मैं इन्हां नूं बेनती करूँगा कि ये संगतां दे रूबरू होण। सतगुरु साहिब जी आपां सबनां नूं बहुत ही समत बख्शिश करन कि आपां सतगुरु साहिब जी दे इस ज्ञान नूं अपने जीवन विच धार के असीं एक सोहना ते सुचज्जा एक समाज सिर सकीए। दास पासों बेनतियां करदिआं बेअंत भुलां जो होईआं उन्हां दी खिमा दी जाचना है। फतेह प्रवान करनी जी। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह।
वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਜੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, 1 ਹਫ਼ਤਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਕਾਫੀ ਚੰਗਾ ਰਿਸੀਵ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਧਰ। ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਉਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਜੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ। ਉੱਦਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ ਪ੍ਰੈਜੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸ ਨੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ, ਫਿਰ ਗੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਪ੍ਰੈਜੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ, ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ 15 ਸਾਲ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੁਣ। MA ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਦੇ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬਣਦੀਆਂ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਦੀਆਂ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਦਸਮ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਵਿਰਾਸ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ। ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। Guru Granth Sahib is the primal scripture of the Sikhs. Sri Dasam Granth Sahib is also known as Dasam Pasha Ka Granth and is considered the scripture of the 10th king. Sri Dasam Granth Sahib is also known as a secondary scripture because Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj is our primal scripture. Compositions from both scriptures, once combined, give us something magical. This includes the Nityanam or daily liturgy, the process of Amrit Sanjar, and most importantly, the Ardas, where the Chandi Divar composition is derived from. Dasam Granth Sahib also serves, in this particular case, as the primary scripture in the understanding of Gatka, Shastra Vidya, because some of the banis which are derived from Dasam Granth Sahib, like Jap Sahib, Shastra Namala, and certain other portions, help the Gatka practitioner in achieving the balance of Meri Peri. Most importantly, it serves to understand what is the name of the Granth. Sometimes people say Dasam Granth, and Dasam Granth is a name which people commonly use now. However, if you look at past Ityas and history, we find something different. In the Anandapuri Bead of 1695-1696, the name given in the Tatkara or the contents page is Bani Sri Mukhwak Bashai Das. Now that's very interesting, because some people consider Dasam Granth Sahib not to be Bani, but yet in one of the original manuscripts or swarups of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib, it's referred to as Bani. In another swarup, known as the Patna Sahib 1698 swarup, the name given is Bashai Dasvin Juga Granth. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the name always given was Sri Mukhwak Bashai Dasmi or Dasvi. And again, Dasvin Pashaka Granth continued in books and Sikh Ityas throughout history. Essentially, if we translate it in English, it means the Granth of Guru Gobind Singh. It's always been known as the Granth of Guru Gobind Singh. There is other name that cannot be given to it. The compositions or the Bani which is in Sri Dasam Granth Sahib is numerous. It differs from Guru Granth Sahib in some respects. We see compositions like Jap Sahib, Akal Ustat, Chandi Charitras, Chovis Avtar, Shastra Namala, Jatha Pakhyan. Some of the Banis serve, as I said earlier on, as part of the Amrit process. Others serve another important process in understanding the theology of the Khalsa. Terms like Deg Deg Fateh, Khanda, all derived from Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. The Angs follow a similar process to Guru Granth Sahib. The language is primarily Braj Bhasha. Braj Bhasha was also the language in which Bhai Gurdas Kabits were written, Guru Tegh Bahadur's Bani, and the compositions were written in locations like Anandpur Sahib, Paonta Sahib, and most importantly, Burbur Sahib as well. When some people talk about Sri Dasam Granth Sahib, they try to say that there's no early manuscripts. They try to say there's no history. They try to say there's nothing which can jod or which can actually state that Guru Gobind Singh wrote Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. That is a complete lie. By looking at early manuscripts to begin with, we can actually see where the process of the actual compilation derives from. Within these manuscripts are also what we call Khas Patre. Khas Patre are known as the Panne of Guru Gobind Singh in his own hand, which means he wrote some Panne which we still have today. I mentioned the Anandpuri Bead, which serves as one of the first original manuscripts of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. Again, like I said, it was two dates within it are 1695 and 1696. Within that manuscript is the Likhat of Guru Gobind Singh within it. This also includes Chitra Pakhyan. The Khoj that was done by Pyara Singh Padam confirms this as well. Another bead which people refer to as the Pai Mani Singh bead, and that was written sometime afterwards. And this bead combined the compositions of both Guru Granth Sahib and Sri Dasam Granth Sahib as well. And in Sikh Ityas, it's mentioned several times. Within this bead, the compositions of Krishna Avatar in the Guru Maharaj's handwriting is also contained within it. There's other beads as well, including the Patna Sahib beads, one dated 1698, and another one which is an identical copy of it, but without a sammat in it. Sometime afterwards, Mahapurukhs like Baba Deep Singh, Jeet Singh, based at Damdama Sahib, also made copies as well. The early beads confirm that the compositions of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib were written by Guru Gobind Singh. The Anandpuri bead, which I alluded to earlier, serves as a work in progress bead and cannot be considered as the definitive manuscript of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. This picture in front of you is from the Pai Mani Singh bead, and on the left hand side is a Khas Patra of Guru Gobind Singh. The style, the handwriting of Guruji is not mistaken for anyone else's. Before the manuscripts were created, there was certain little pothis that Guru Sahib also made. Recently, I've done a bit of research on some of these pothis. Some were kept in private collections in India. For instance, the Sodhi family, they had a manuscript of Jopi Sahib with the verses of Guru Tegh Bahadur, but unfortunately this was stolen in 2003. Other Dasam pothis are with the Anandpur families of Suraj Mala and Anandpur Sahib. There's handwritten pages of Kalki Avatar in Kila Mubarak, and in my forthcoming book, the Granth of Guru Gobind Singh, Essays, Lectures and Translations, there is also certain information on other pothis with Panne of Guru Gobind Singh. This is some photographs of what the Anandpur pothis look like. Now the style of writing, the handwriting of Guru Gobind Singh, like I said, cannot be confused with anyone else's. The style of Guru Gobind Singh's writing, similar to Guru Tegh Bahadur's, was what we call, there's certain descriptions of that handwriting. Some people call it Anandpur Lipi, some call it Kart Lipi. It had a different style, and there was no one else who could copy it at the time. Whilst we know Pai Mani Singh and Baba Deep Singh are known in Sikh Ityas and Sikh history as compilers of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib, I want to mention and discuss two other names which have not had the recognition they receive in actually the discussion of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. This includes Pai Hardas and Pai Shia Singh. We'll start with Pai Hardas. He was the actual grandfather of Jassa Singh Ramgarhia. He fought battles alongside the Guru and Banda Bahadur. And most importantly, he prepared a recension or bead of Guru Granth Sahib, dated 1682, a very early bead which had the verses of Guru Tegh Bahadur in it. This was completed at Anandpur Sahib. It was kept at Sikh Reference Library. Unfortunately, in the Hamla in 1984, this manuscript was destroyed together with a lot of other Puratan Bida as well. But importantly, within the Hat Likht, it had the name or the description, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Lakhari, Pai Haridas Wali Bead, confirming that Pai Haridas was a Lakhari of Guru Gobind Singh. This manuscript also had a nishan of Guru Gobind Singh within the manuscript as well. So like I said, he was a Lakhari within the Darbar of the 10th Guru. But Pai Hardas was also involved in the preparation of Guru Granth Sahib Pothis, and now we can also state in the preparation of Anandpuri bead as well. His name appears in the first manuscript of Dasam Granth, together with names like Darbari Singh Shota, Nahala, and Bala. The important thing about this is the manuscripts which were created under the supervision of Guru Gobind Singh. That's why you have Lakaris like Bhai Hardas involved in the preparation of Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj and Sri Dasam Granth Sahib as well. Just some further information on the Anandpuri bead. Like I mentioned, it has the Khas Patre of Guru Gobind Singh. It also contains 2 pictures which are said to be of Guru Gobind Singh. One of these is featured in my book, Sri Dasam Granth Sahib, Questions and Answers. And also this bead shows the editing process by the Guru. The second Lakari, which also deserves mention and credit, is by Shia Singh. His name, again, like I said, is mentioned in Sikh history, but seldomly actually used when it comes to the understanding of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. He was based in Delhi together with the Queens of the Khalsa, Mata Sundari and Mata Sahib Diwan. The bar in Delhi became an important centre where Jassa Singh Ahluwalia, Bhai Nandlal Sal also visited this location. But in the problems that were created in the Punjab, the Matas were also crucial in propagating Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. Bhai Shia Singh, based in Delhi, was also working with Bhai Mani Singh to try and establish and find some of the Khas Patre which had been lost. According to the historic letter sent from Bhai Mani Singh to Mata Sundari, he was searching for these handwritten panne. The letter dated 1716 alludes to the search of these missing pothis and is corroborated by Bansavli Nama in 1769, Keshar Singh's Chibar, which also gives Shia Singh's name in the compilation and the search for the pothis. It should be said that Shia Singh's contribution can be confirmed by the manuscript Sangrur bead, which is also or was a compilation of Sri Guru Granth Sahib and Dasam Granth Sahib. And that's according to Dr. Ashta, who did a very important work called The Poetry of the Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. Another important aspect which should be known is when manuscripts and recensions of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib were created, they were sent to all parts of India and further afield. This included Afghanistan, and one manuscript dated 1712 was sent, according to Dr. Gurinder Singh and the research PhD scholar Kamarup Singh as well. If anyone goes to Gurdwara Mata Sundari in Delhi and speaks to the Sevadars at the Gurdwara, and they can see the boards there as well confirming Shia Singh's involvement in Dasam Granth Sahib recensions. Whilst I've mentioned a certain number of manuscripts, I thought I'd also allude to one known as the Aurangabad bead. This is also considered an early Sri Dasam Granth Sahib recension. It's attributed to Bhai Daya Singh, one of the Panch Pyare. He was based there to deliver the historic Zafarnama to Aurangzeb. This manuscript is still kept at the Gurdwara by Daya Singh, and people can do the darshan of the manuscript there as well. And like I said, once manuscripts were created, they were sent to all different parts of India. That's why there's early Sarups in Patna Sahib, Hajur Sahib, all different parts. And every year we are finding new Hat Likhta with early summits confirming the popularity, confirming the ityas within Sri Dasam Granth at an early stage of the Khalsa. This panna here is from the Aurangabad bead in Persian of Zafarnama. In many Purane or Puratan Hatlik Swarups, when it came to the Zafarnama, that was actually written in Persian as opposed to Gurmukhi or any other language. In the compilation or the creation of the Granth, we hear of the names of Anandpur Sahib, Paonta Sahib. In Sikh Ityas, these locations are very well known. There's Rachana of the Kavis, which also mention Anandpur and Paonta. However, it should also be known that at Babur Sahib is a third location we can also add to the creation of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib, and is at this location where Chopi Sahib was completed. Now, interestingly, Chopi Sahib forms the end portion of Chitra-Pakyan. So essentially, Chitra-Pakyan was also completed with the addition of Chopi Sahib at this location. And Guru Gobind Singh actually writes it was completed in 1696 on the banks of the river Sutlej. And if anyone goes there to the Gurdwara to do darshan, they can see this historic location and see the beauty on the banks of the river Sutlej where Guru Sahib wrote Chopi Sahib. Now, one interesting concept or idea which is always brought up is the Prakash of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. Retname, Sikh Ityas, Sikh history, early Sikh history, refer to Guru Gobind Singh, refer to Sikh Khalsa doing the Prakash of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. And it should be remembered that Dasam Granth Sahib is not Prakash on its own. It's always in the Hazuri of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. There is no such thing as doing Prakash of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib on its own. Bhai Desa Singh in his Retnama states the Bani from both Granths should be remembered, should be memorized. Whatever is given to the Dasam and Ard Guru, both are said to be first and equal. Now, at that time, the Granths were kept together in Prakash. Things have changed since that time. Takht Sahibs, Patna Sahib, Hajur Sahib, Keshgar Sahib, and even Sri Akal Takht Sahib has in the past had some maryada related to Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. It should, however, be noted in this particular period now, most Gurdwara do not have Sri Dasam Granth Sahib placed within them. Over the last 100 years, over the Singh Sabha period, over the time of the Pashoriya, and also the post-1984 period, it is safe to say the debate, Shanka, on Sri Dasam Granth Sahib is a modern debate. Whenever they say they have seen some kind of parchi, letter, book saying that there's been a debate, it cannot be proved, and it won't be proved because there never was any debate. Importantly, like I said, at the Takht Sahibs, there's the Maryada of Dasam Granth Sahib, but also some of the Gurdwara around them as well. So if we consider Sri Akal Takht Sahib, Gurdwara Ramsar, Akali Phula Singh Burj had Prakash, and Akali Phula Singh Burj to this day still has Prakash of both Granths. And the Sodak Committee report refers to the importance of both Granths in Prakash at the time of its writing. If we go to Takht Huzur Sahib, again, apart from the main Gurdwara, Mai Pago Gurdwara also has Prakash of both Granths. And relatively, the more we look, the more we see, it's more common than uncommon. There is a very important painting created by a Hungarian painter called Soft. This isn't the picture, but he actually creates a beautiful picture with Maharaja Ranjit Singh, with both Granths in Prakash. But I wanted to show you something different. This engraving during the British period again shows not too far from the Akal Takht, where both Granths were in Prakash. Again, this is only a depiction. Earlier on, I mentioned about Gurdwara Ramsar, a very important Gurdwara in the compilation creation of Guru Granth Sahib. But interestingly, this fresco, which was at Gurudwara Ramsar, again, on the walls it shows the Prakash of both Granths. I want to move on to Sikh relics and how Dasam Bani has been promoted, not just by manuscripts, but how the Ityas has been transmitted on Hathiyar as well, and swords. Other religions like Christianity and also the Muslims, they have also had inscriptions on their material items as well. In modern times, when it comes to the research of history, the relics, the swords, and other material items are often neglected. One important relic related to Guru Gobind Singh is known as a Charena. Charena in Persian means 4 mirrors. Essentially, it is a breastplate which Guru Sahib wore in battle, and it was the same one he wore in the battle of Bagani Sahib. And in the Yudh, there was a piercing of an arrow, the piercing which can still be seen on the armour itself. The armour and its 4 plates contains Bani from both Granths, including Japji Sahib, Jap Sahib, Akal Ustat, and also Shaskritri Salok. This is the actual plate which is kept in the house of Patiala, Captain Gurinder Singh's residence, and is so important in understanding not just the Ityas on Sri Dasam Granth Sahib, but the Ityas on Sikh history. I wanted to move on to the Ardas and the importance, and how the importance has been recognised in Ityas as well. As we know, the Ardas is recited at various times in the Gurdwara and on various ceremonies. But also, the first portions derive from Chandi Diwar, which is from Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. And an important relic has also surfaced, which has been noted in Sikh Ityas, but many people don't know about, is a copper plate. This particular copper plate is very important on several bases. It confirms that Sikh history was created and also transmitted on copper plates. These plates, which can be found, are actually at Hindu temples and not Sikh Gurdwara. The importance seems to be that Guru Maharaj wanted to promote Sikh Dharma across all religions. We refer to this copper plate as a Tamar Patra, and Guru Gobind Singh, when he went to Kapil Mochan, he bestowed this historic plate at this location. He also gave a hukamnama to the pujaris there as well. But most importantly, the ardas or portions of the ardas are inscribed on this particular plate. Like I said, the plate is located at Kapil Mochan in Haryana. The date was given as 1679, and the Hukamnama states that it was bestowed to Javala Das at that time. It goes on to state that any of his Sikhs who follow the Hukum will be blessed, and the Hukum as recorded is the Ardas. The importance and significance of the Ardas can now be seen by this plate by showing how importance was given by the Guru at this time. Critics who put Shanka on terms like Bhagoti, like Teja Singh Bachoria in the 1920s, Ragi Darshan most recently, have disputed the term Bhagoti, but evidence from this copper plate shows how important the Ardas was from an early period, as stated before. I wanted to move on to Guru's swords, the inscriptions on the swords, and how Dasam Bani has been promoted or extended onto swords as well. But it's not just Dasam Bani, it's also the concepts and ideals of Guru Granth Sahib as well. The sword for Guru Gobind Singh was the embodiment of Akal Purkh. The Shastras for the Khalsa are as important as Gurbani. Never make the mistake of thinking the Shastras of the Sikhs, of the Khalsa, does not hold any importance. In Sikh Ityas, the Shastras are seen as equally as important as Gurbani. As I just mentioned, the Manglacharan or invocation Sri Bhagoti Ji Sahai, which is recorded on Chandi Divar and the copper plate, means, let's just define it for a certain period now. It means the divine sword protects and represents the Shakti or power of Akal Purkh to crush the evildoers. It's very, very important what it means. The sword for the Khalsa is a sword of justice, truth, and all-prevailing power of all divine powers and virtues. The term Bhagoti also appears in Baigardas Varang and is also referred to as a sword. This inscription on this particular sword in Patiala, the inscription says Bhagoti Sahai, again pointing to the importance of the actual terms used within Sri Dasam Granth Sahib and then transmitted onto manuscripts and then also relics. One other important sword belongs to Sham Singh Atari Walia, the majestic Singh, Khalsa Badwan, who during the Anglo-Sikh war period did enough Qurbani and bravery. This sword contains the inscriptions of Shastra Namala on this particular sword and is kept with his descendants. I wanted to move on to the British period. Now, essentially, during the British period, they had different kind of savar, they had different kind of descriptions. The early descriptions of the Khalsa and of Dasam Granth Sahib were generally positive. I've catalogued over 50 different commentaries from the British related to the Granths. One of the earliest is Charles Wilkins in 1788, which is looking at the Ityas at Takht Patna Sahib. I want to briefly talk about Dr. Leyden. Dr. Leyden was based in Scotland. He moved to Calcutta. He knew Pasha, the number of Pasha languages he knew was over 30. And essentially, he translated some of the works of Bhai Mani Singh, Bhai Gurdas II, an early description and translation of Prem Samara Granth as well. These are all located in the British Library. These are now available, some of these are available online and were brought out in the public by Punjab Cultural Association in 2011. I just briefly want to talk about the Prem Samara Granth, one of the manuscripts which is created by Dr. Leyden, dated 1808. So just look at the summit, 1808, same time period of Akali Phula Singh, Maharaja Ranjit Singh's period, but this Gora, Britisher, translated Sikh manuscripts into English at this time. The Prem Samara Granth translation was discovered by myself in 2006 and is important because at the time there was Shankar created by Western scholars including W.H. MacLeod, who was dating some manuscripts and different ityas at different times. The discovery of this manuscript led him to actually reevaluate and redate the manuscript. This is the opening folio of Sri Brajata Natak. This was also used by John Malcolm in his sketch of the Sikhs. Unfortunately, when the translations were done, the British forgot about them, the Sikhs probably didn't even know about them at the time. And Dr. Leyden at the time acknowledged that Brajata Natak was a portion or part of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. He also states this longer work, which Guru Gobind Singh himself is reckoned by the Sikhs to be from the Dasam Pasha Ka Granth. Clearly, the translator knew the significance of the Granth. After Dr. Leyden, later translations were done by Trumpf from Germany, and important letters at the National Archives of India shed light onto Trumpf's translations. He was asked to translate both Guru Granth Sahib and Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. But just a quick description of what took place was that he found Sri Dasam Granth Sahib to be too difficult and he gave up this operation. Essentially, he started saying that the Granths were both inferior to the Bible. A bit later on, Max McAuliffe, who many people understand to be a very good Britisher in terms of the work he created, even he could not translate the whole Brajata Natak. So therefore, essentially what I'm trying to say is the early British period understood the Granths in their entirety. It was later on when some of the Shankar came in and some of the debates which derived from the British took hold. I wanted to just conclude by saying manuscripts shed light on Sri Dasam Granth Sahib. The relics provide us with important information as to how Gurbani was transmitted. And the translations from the British are also important to understanding the ityas. But most importantly, Sri Dasam Granth Sahib, just like Guru Granth Sahib, has a verifiable history, and the same sources which are used to construct the compilation and creation of Guru Granth Sahib are used in the construction of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib as well. And that is a very important point. I'm just going to conclude briefly by stating I've got forthcoming books on Akali Phula Singh and another book on Sri Dasam Granth Sahib as well. For people who want a small introduction, they can see my Sri Dasam Granth Sahib questions and answers book as well. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.